Hello plant fans, Sonya here, and I want to show you today the method that I use for committing plant names to memory and being able to recall those plant names. So I realised early on that I was going to have to learn a lot of plant names, and this is the best system that I have found for being able to learn them actually and earn a big volume of them and be able to remember them when I'm called upon to use them. So the system I'm using is called Anki Web, which is a flashcard system, and it's used by a lot of people learning languages, which is in fact how I first came across it, because I was using it for learning Japanese back in the day. And yeah, I realised when I had to start learning botanical names for plant IDs that I was getting at horticultural college, that this Anki Web system would map across really well actually to learning plant names as well. So that's what I started to do, and yeah, it's a really good system. It's especially good for people with a very visual learning style, of which I am one. If you're an audio leaning person, or if you are more kinesthetic in your learning style, then you might find a different method more suited to you, but this is the one that I find really good. Yeah, so essentially then Anki Web is a flashcard system, and it is based on what they call a spaced repetition system, which means that they are going to show you the flashcard only as often as you seem to need it, based on a little feedback loop that they have built into the card itself. Okay, so this is how you go about creating Anki Flashcard. So if you open the app, which you obviously need to pre-download, it's a free app and you need to get it onto your laptop or desktop initially, and that's where you build the decks. And then once it's got the bank of flashcards on your desktop and laptop, you can then switch over to reviewing the cards on your mobile phone if you wish to. I mean, that can be quite handy because you can do it when you're out and about. They do charge for the mobile phone app, but as a workaround, so that you don't have to pay, all you have to do is just go onto ankiweb.net in your internet browser on your phone, and then actually you don't have to pay at all. So the app's entirely free. Okay, so let me just open that up. Okay, fine. So you can see here I've got several decks already set up because I've been using it for a while. To make a new deck, you can literally just add one in. Oh, here we go. There's a button at the bottom for create deck. I just want to add a card, so I put add. I want to check it's in the right deck, and it is. It's in my plant identification one. And for the type of card, I want to use basic and reversed card. There's a few different types, but I found that's the best type for me. So on the front of the card, then basically I want an image on the front of the card. So then I will go into Google, do a Google search on the plant that I want, and then let's have a think. Say Athia Cooperi. So if I want to make an image for that, the default is it will start onto all, but if you just click on here on the images part, you will find hundreds of images of the plant that you're after for making the flashcard with. So let's have a look. Just want to look for one that's fairly typical. There we go. I'm going to choose this one here actually, because that actually looks quite like the plant that I've just bought. So I will just screenshot that image and then pick it up and drop it into the front of the flashcard. And on the back I want to write the botanical name, so I will just put in there Cyathea Cooperi. Okay, so I'll put add. Okay, that's the card made. And what I will also do each time is I make a pair of cards for each new plant, as well as one which shows the image and the botanical name. I also do one which shows the botanical name and the common name, because at least that way I can learn both of them at the same time. So it's called, I think, the lazy tree fern. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to put that in, and okay, and then I put add. And that's that. That's the card made. Simple as that. It doesn't take very long, and obviously when you've been doing it for a while you can do them faster, maybe like a minute per card. I tend to do them in batches of 10 because I think that's pretty much what my memory can handle in one go in terms of actually reviewing the cards and committing them to memory. What I will just show you now then is how to review the cards. So the review process then, you can customize how many cards you wish to review each day, and that will obviously depend on how much time you've got. Everybody is different. So if you go to the settings tab, you can find in the options, or you can basically, it's up to you, you can change it as to how you want. I'm going to just have it for 3 for the purposes of this demo, but I normally actually have it at 100. To be honest, I would think 25 is perhaps more realistic. We'll put it in, double click to review. So the Anki Web system will serve up these cards to you randomly, and that includes showing you the reverse and the front of the card, so it's completely randomized the order. If I click the Study Now button, okay, we can see it's served up an image of the plant, which means I need to try and get the botanical name. I think this one is Nicotiana sylvestris. And then you can see at the bottom there is you can see that there is a show answer button there. So let's put that in. Okay, good. Okay, I got that right. And it's a while since I've seen that particular flashcard, but I found it okay. So I'm going to look down here at the bottom, and you will notice that there are 4 buttons. And the 4 buttons are basically to indicate to the system how easy or how difficult you found that particular answer. So I found that one like actually relatively easy, so I'm just going to go for one here. There's one that says good. So now that I've said good, that is a feedback loop into the system, and the system won't show me that card again for some significant time because it knows that I already know it. Let's see what else we've got. So lacy tree fern. Okay, that is the one that we just created, and that is the Cyathea cooperi. Not so easy for me to remember, probably because it's brand new. So let me put in the short answer. Cyathea cooperi. I would like to see that one actually really soon, so that I know that I can get a reminder and revise it. And what we're trying to do essentially is to reinforce those neural pathways in the brain so that the brain can jump to that answer quite quickly in the future, so we don't have to struggle to recall the answer. So I'm going to put again for that one, and it's the first button. All right, so this image I think this one is Luzula sylvatica grass. Luzula sylvatica cultivar aurea. Okay, so that one again, I found that like quite hard actually because, well, I got it wrong, didn't I? So let's put again. Cyathea cooperi, okay, that is, now it's showing me the image. Okay, we'll get a refresher on that one. Cyathea cooperi is the lacy tree fern. Okay, I'm going to put hard this time and it will show me it again. It says in 6 minutes, so pretty soon. Lacy tree fern is Cyathea cooperi. Okay, this time I'm going to put good. Now this time I'm going to put easy because I don't really need to see that again so soon. Saxifraga exlandori Leonor would be perhaps encrusted saxifrage. Okay, I definitely need to see that one again. So that's Luzula sylvatica cultivar aurea. Okay, I found that one actually quite easy now, so I'm going to put that one to good, and it won't show me that one again for the rest of today. Saxifraga exlandori Leonor was, oh my gosh, I forgot straight away. Let's have a look. Encrusted saxifrage. So put that again. Lacy tree fern, we know now is Cyathea cooperi. So that's easy now. Saxifraga exlandori Leonor is the encrusted saxifrage. And put that one more time. Saxifraga encrusted saxifrage. Okay, now I'm going to put it as good. Okay, good. So that shows now that we have finished this deck for today. Okay, and then that's it basically. You can review again tomorrow. You don't have to review tomorrow, you can review next week. I certainly don't review every day. I will just do it as and when. But one thing to note is that you do need to log in once every 6 months to stop your Anki Web account becoming inactive. So do make sure you do that, because it would be a bit of a disaster if you built an entire deck of flashcards and then lost them. Although that has actually happened to me before, and they do email you and you get a chance to go in and reactivate the account. Phew, because I certainly wouldn't want to do that. So I don't know anyone else who uses this system for plant names, but on a personal note, I can definitely say it's tried and tested system. I've been using it at least 4 years. It's really, really good. And what I have noticed is that I can still remember plants that I learned 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and 1 year ago. And the reason for that, I think, is because you're reviewing the cards. The system has like an inbuilt review system, which is always refreshing those neural pathways in the brain, which means that you can reach into your brain, reach into your memory, and pull out that name as and when you need it. But one improvement I would make if I was starting all over again, I think, is to include a sound recording of the name as well, which I noticed now you can do with the microphone button there, and then you can just save a sound clip to it. Now that would be really good also for people who do learn better through hearing instructions or hearing names and words rather than the visual style. But I think it would be a good add-on anyway, actually, and to be honest, I might start doing that on my cards going forward. If you are also using this system and have any tips that I might not have mentioned, then obviously feel free to put them in the comments. If you're using a completely different system that you think might be better than this or has some benefits that this system doesn't have, then please also do mention them in the comments, because it's obviously going to be useful for people. All right, thanks very much.